cold outside. But baby,
welcome back to the show.
Still
Still hanging out with Frank Reeves, Superintendent of East Grand School District. And Frank, one thing I know we talked about in the off-camera is the teacher retention up here. We have a great quality of life. We talked about Fridays off, or I guess no longer in-state, but out-of-state people. That's a pretty big deal that to have a 4-day work week. You know, what do you see? I mean, is it good retention relative to what you've seen in other school districts? About the same? You know, how do you?
We're fairly stable, which is good. Our fear is, when we go through retirement or things like that, replacing teachers. I think the teachers that we have here are pretty set, and they've moved here for that choice or adjusted to that choice with the lifestyle, and they love it. What we are finding is we don't get as many applicants for certain jobs as we used to, and I think that's all of rural Colorado. So we want to find a way to better retain teachers, and whether that's better pay. We pay pretty decent at East Grand. However, the cost of living is so much greater here than it is in most rural districts.
We've seen a lot of changes in the last couple of years, even too, to cost of living.
And so that makes it a little more difficult. I hate to see our teachers work second jobs, but many of them do, and you know, they have to, and so I understand that. So, but yeah, it's I think it will become more and more of a problem as we grow. And as we get more and more retirement, so hopefully we'll find a way to rectify that.
Start getting some new generation to come in and fall in love with what the ones.
We just got to get them here.
Yeah, I think so. That's the biggest challenge. It's not as much keeping the ones that are in house. It's more drawing them into. And what I mean, I couldn't rave about this town as much. And unfortunately, this is a second job for me. No, I'm just kidding. But all right, let's talk technology. Let's talk future of. The schools, like, what do you see? I know when I grew up, things are always so different, whether it be iTouches or iPads in the classroom or Chromebooks for the high school, I believe. Do they all have Chromebooks?
Well, right now, we have a one-to-one program for every student in our district.
All the way up, or what?
Yeah, from 4th grade on, they have their own.
Holy cow!
And from below 4th grade,
through the school.
Well, and it's through the school district. Thanks to the Grand Foundation.
I say, what a budgetary challenge. So that's a huge donor. Grand Foundation does such wonderful things for the
town. We wouldn't be anywhere near what we are as a district without them and other donors and other support. But they've found the funding for it and supported it. And so, we're able to have a one-to-one for every kid, which is pretty unique. Most districts are going one-to-ones at high school or at high school and middle school, but it's very few that you'll find K through 12 truly have.
That's phenomenal. I didn't realize we had that much technology in our early ages too. That's just incredible.
And then we've done it for a couple of years, and it's been, you know, as technology always is a little bit of a difficult transition, but we're learning from it, and we've had a lot of discussions over the past month even, and we even had an in-service professional development day around technology as to where that's going to take us in the future. What do we envision? You know, not just that Chromebook, but technology being for kids learning and their ability to use it. It's a reality in life that they're going to use technology to be successful in whatever it is.
Still kind of shocks me. It's just amazing how, which everyone said that when I was a kid too, with graphing calculators, whatever it might have been at the time. But you know, now it's like, it's crazy to think, what's 20 years from now going to look like? You know, what are our kids going to look back and say, wow, we used to have to do that on a Chromebook. You know, how archaic. It just blows my mind.
Well, shoot, I remember when I was a kid, it was weightlifting to move a computer. Now you take your Chromebook and don't even realize you have it. But it's really learning how to use that now. And probably a greater learning experience for our teachers and the adults in the building, and how do we get the kids to best utilize that technology.
Well, technology costs money, so the future, you know, are we going to continually depend on Grand Foundation for some of these grants to help keep us up to date, or will taxes go up, or is it one of those deals where technology gets cheaper? You know, it does too.
Technology does get cheaper, and in fact, the original bid for the Chromebooks compared to what we finished was a couple $100,000 cheaper.
$100,000,
and that's just over the span of a couple of years, the money you can save from
just
original
by
pricing
to
and getting things in more bulk and finding that. However, there's always expense in technology. Replacement costs, they wear out.
And are you getting assistance from federal or state
Not yet.
grants? I'm sure every
I
school
honestly
district
think
needs
that'll
it. So.
come. We do get what's called E-rate, which is a federal government program, but it doesn't pay for computers. It pays for things like broadband. It pays for.
Okay. So that helps get the internet into the school.
Right. I think there will be more and more devoted funding to technology, just as it becomes more and more ingrained in schools across the country, and so hopefully that won't be, you don't get something and then 3 years say we can no longer afford it, so let's just let all that stuff sit in the closet somewhere. And
exactly. So do we have adequate broadband here in Grant County? You're pretty happy with?
But we, over the past couple of years, we've
some major improvements.
We reworked our network, which has allowed more in. Most of the time you'll find that it's the district's network, it's what they have internally that keeps broadband out. Almost everywhere in the state has.
I'm still blown away if every kid's got a device that takes
right.
up space. It just blows my mind how much information is going through these.
Right, and we are now completely wireless within the district, so that really helps. You don't have to plug in every room and do that. So that helps our kids, again, be more fluid with the technology.
So one last question. Do you have something that from maybe a past school district that we don't have that you're hoping to implement or bring in the near future here, or like maybe even just a wish list of something
right.
you'd like to see done?
Well, and I think they merged together, and I know you just had Scott Springston in here, but we have a great AP program at the high school, advanced placement program. Right now we're teaching 11 advanced placement courses.
Wow, that's
to over 80 kids, and for a school district, again, our size, that's one of those things I was saying. That's one of those things we offer that just not many districts.
These are classes that help you advance in college, or
right. And if you take an advanced placement course, and then you take a test at the end of the year, and if you score a 3 or 4 on the test,
out of things,
you get the college credit for it. Well, there's also what's called dual credit that you work with through a community college, and let's just say it's calculus. Teacher teaching it has to have a master's, but they're teaching high school kids a college level calculus during the school day. Kids are taking it, and actually the district picks up most of the cost of that, and so the parents get credit. The
right.
kids get the credit for free,
and
they're able to take that and get some college credit. So when they do go to college, when they do have to leave the county, they're already a couple years ahead, hopefully, or at least a few credits ahead.
Oh, so that is a huge deal financially.
So that's one of my wish lists is that we get that dual credit really rolling over the next few years, and I'm working with Scott on that. The other piece is what we call CT, Career and Tech Ed. You'll hear it oftentimes in terms of STEM or STEAM, and those are acronyms for science, technology, engineering, and math. When it's STEAM, it's science, technology, engineering, arts, and math.
Arts and math, okay.
But it really fits all that CT. It's really a career in tech ed. It's a hands-on learning, and it's for those kids who aren't necessarily going to a 4-year college, but maybe looking at a trade school, maybe looking at such things as welding or mechanical, which there's a great need for.
Trades are more and more and more, right?
Right,
and there's some
and I think we're finding
great
that more
careers
and more.
within the trades that people somehow just kind of overlook.
Our pendulum swings in education, and over the past few years, it really went to that side of all academic. I mean, everything's reading, writing, math, and we kind of left off that piece of there's a whole group of kids out there that will work in that service industry, that can make good money, that can have great careers and be really contributors to society. We kind of left them out. Now it's swinging back into that area. And we have great facilities, but we don't necessarily have that CTE program built like I hope to see it built over the next few years.
That'll be something fun to see what comes down the pipe here. And well, thanks so much for being on our show. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you. Hopefully we'll get you back maybe in a year or so. Just kind of see the changes and improvements, and once you've kind of put at least a year behind you. But I'm most excited to hear if you get on those sticks out on Cramner and go cruising down a blue run at the resort. So
I might come in on crutches, but I'll come in. No,
so if you do, you going to try skiing or snowboarding?
My daughter tells me to snowboard because it's easier.
It's better on your knees. You might break a wrist on day one.
Exactly, but they say you fall a lot more and you fall a lot harder. So
if you do it on a soft day. And
I'm looking for free lessons if anyone has that.
There you go. Well, Frank, thanks so much for being on the show. Once again, we're hanging out with Frank Reeves, Superintendent of East Grand School District. Stay tuned. We're going to have the Gear Guide coming up, one of my favorite segments, seeing what's the latest and greatest with Christie Sports right downstairs here in Cooper Creek Square. We'll be back in a moment.